Hey y'all, I'm Cynthia Mallard.
And I'm Marq Dean.
And we are Studiosetstage. Welcome back to the best show, the best podcast in the land. We like to say anyway. So how have you been doing, guys? How you doing, Marq Dean?
I am doing good, Cynthia. How's everything in your neck of the woods?
Pretty good, guys. As you all know, we are just weathering this pandemic. We're all just doing different things. We're in different places, trying to accomplish different things. But listen, I just want to say this, to start the show out. We will get through this together,
Yes, this too shall pass. And guys, Studiosetstage out there. You could have been anywhere in the world, but I'm glad you are here with us on this podcast, on this episode, and we appreciate the feedback. Remember to reach out to us on all social platforms at Studiosetstage.
Yep, you got to get that plug in, okay, guys? So listen, we have a great show for you today. Obviously, we are in the middle, and we continue to be in the middle of social unrest, injustice in the country. Last we talked with you guys, Sunday, we had another incident where, I'm just going to say it, where it seems like the lives of African Americans, of Black folks, that we do not matter. If you know, you've been following along, you know that Jacob Blake, 29 years old, man, 29 years old, shot in the back in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Unfreaking believable, Marq Dean.
This is, totally beyond words. When I caught the actual footage of this young Black male, another casualty, another name that we must add to the long list of the long list of police brutality, this systemic racism that has infected the very ones that should protect and serve. They have been issuing out unlashing the total brutality, the total killing of us. And enough is enough.
Enough is enough, guys, like we said, really during this whole pandemic, during this whole social unrest, it is our duty, it is our responsibility to talk about this. Yes, this is Studiosetstage, right? But so many of us Studiosetsstagers, I'm a Black woman, Marq Dean, Black man, so many of you guys, Black and white, all different races, right? But this issue touches all of us, is what I'm trying to say. So it causes us to pause and to stop and to shine a spotlight on it.
It hits home, Cynthia. Like you said, I will reiterate, being an African American male in this country in 2020, to deal with this kind of unrest, it is beyond words. I'm not surprised, because
you said that before, right?
I'm not surprised. However, to act like this is just another blip in the news of the day is shocking to me.
You've heard others talk about it, and it is the same scenario every time. Their excuse was, he had a warrant, he's a criminal, but you know what, is that any excuse for you to shoot this man 7 times, 5, 6, 7 times in the back?
Be shot in the back 7 times as he was walking to his vehicle, because his kids, 3 kids, was in the vehicle. So he was walking, making his way back to his vehicle to check on his kids. And he's just being shot from the back.
Well,
7 times. That is totally, I mean, I have no words, but I will say this, that is totally unacceptable.
Yeah.
Enough is enough.
Yes.
I've seen enough from the casualties just to add another docket on the long list of brutality, and it's enough.
Yeah, it
I've
is.
had it up to here. It's totally enough.
Yeah. I will say that, of course, as a result, we all know, like, all the, protests broke out in Kenosha, Wisconsin,
Yes.
which has led to several boycotts just across different sporting industries. I know that
Right.
we were talking about it, and like we were just sitting, we were actually sitting watching post game, right, at the LA
Yes.
Clippers, and we were just watching and saw Coach with Doc Rivers literally
Yes.
take the words out of my mouth. No matter what we do, how we do it, how people love Black culture, hello, how much they emulate Black culture, they still hate us to the bone.
Yes. I mean, equality.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to.
Well, just watching him
Yes.
cry. I mean, real tears.
Yes.
This is Doc Rivers, guys. Okay.
Right.
He
Yeah.
literally unleashed his emotion, his frustration, his pain. Like you could feel it coming out of the screen.
Yeah. Doc Rivers, the coach of the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah.
He waited, and he waited until after the playoff game with the Dallas Mavericks. He waited until after the press conference to come on and really express what many of African Americans,
What all of us,
what we are feeling,
what all Black people are feeling,
saying,
exactly.
how to have, how to be, treated as equal citizens, of the United States of America, but to be subject to the disdain that racism pulls us into.
Well, you know what?
It is so totally unacceptable.
It's so interesting. It was not interesting. It's kind of like what we've been knowing for years. It's okay for us to entertain you. It's okay for us to entertain you, right? But the minute we stand up and say, hey, I'm a man too, I have the same rights as any other race in the world, there's a problem. But it's okay. You can bump our music. Hello. You can bump our beats. You can watch all of our Black men, all of our Black women entertain. You be the best at anything that we put out there, but you hate us and do not consider us to be human. That's what it comes down to.
Well, I just want to say, have this watch on my hand. The time is winding down. Time is up. The time is up for just dismissing us as second-class citizens. The time is up for not holding on a equal level, the justice, the rights that we as citizens, we shouldn't be demanding this right now.
Right.
This should be, these are inalienable rights as citizens of this country we are entitled to.
That's right. And just as a show, as a podcast, guys, like you guys are tuned into us on YouTube or whatever platform, like I said before, this is our responsibility. No matter what you do, whatever your profession is, it is your responsibility. And I mean, I'll go on record, to stand up for what's right. I was just, we're always watching like all of the social media platforms like Twitter, IG, the whole nine, right? And for you to be silent is to say, oh, it's okay. It's okay what these despicable officers are doing to Black people across the world. You have to
Yes.
stand up. And I just want to say kudos to so many of other races who have joined in with us, right? To
Yes.
say, this is inhumane what is happening.
It is. It is. We have to put a value on all life.
That's right.
Human
Yeah,
rights.
true. In the beginning, yeah. Initially, yeah,
But
all life, yeah.
specifically, right?
Yeah.
But specifically with African Americans as being, like I said, again, being a Black man, and before I go off into a tangent, because I don't want to do that, but definitely, like you said, Cynthia, giving kudos to the NBA, also MLB, Major League Baseball, and the WNBA.
Yeah.
For those athletes taking a stand, not participating in playoff games, in Major League Baseball games.
About time,
Even
right? About time,
it's
right?
about time.
About
It's
time.
about time.
I said
It
this. I
should have
said
been
this. I
done
think a
a
couple
long
of.
time ago.
I think we talked about this like a few shows back, and I kept saying, nothing ever changes unless you hit them in the pocketbook. These
All day.
boycotts that are happening, like you said, Major League Baseball,
NBA.
I was gonna say hockey, but did you know, guys, and you, Mark Dean, that the hockey, like literally, they was like, why are we gonna postpone a game? Why are we gonna
Right.
acknowledge that? Like, I saw that. So
And,
they went on
right.
as business as usual.
Yeah, and that should be a reminder to understand that, hey, if they don't support our basic fundamental rights, then why should we support them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why should we go to their games?
Yeah.
Why should we encourage our athletes to participate in their organizations when they don't reciprocate that?
Well, like we were saying, these WNBA players, these women NBA players, these men, it takes courage. It takes balls, to actually, like, that's why I said, hats off to my fellow, women and men, Black brothers and Black sisters, even the white players, just standing together to say, this is not right. We will not entertain you until you reform the criminal justice system.
Yeah. And it's going to take more than just boycotting one day.
Yeah, of course.
It's going to take more.
We know that. We know that.
It's going to take more than that.
Yeah.
Like you said before, history has a way of repeating itself if you let it, the good and the bad. We must understand. We got to understand how we can't let history in the bad way repeat itself.
Yeah.
When you talk about today, with right now, today represents, from, I guess, in 1863 all the way to 2020, marks really 157 years since the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah.
But that still, with the Emancipation Proclamation, they have not fully given us all of the rights, privileges through that major deal. They still haven't come to giving us all the rights that was supposed to be given through that major legislation.
I'm just gonna tell you, and I know, like, so many of you guys can relate to how we're feeling, just as Black show hosts. Like, we are absolutely absolutely hurting, like absolutely hurting behind this.
Yeah.
Because you have people, you know, and it is no secret. You have owners, you know, who basically look at Black people. This is inside the sports world. This is outside of the sports world. They look at Black people as animals, as property, you know. And like we said before, it goes back to the beginning. It goes back to the beginning. It goes back to what America was founded on. It goes back to why Black people were brought to America. It goes back to how we have built America, right?
Yeah, definitely. I
And
mean, this
slighted.
country was built on systemic racism
Exactly.
that that actually added to the bottom line. We were as slaves, our ancestors was part of that bottom line
Yeah.
to fund
Yeah.
and build
Yeah.
the wealth that America, well, certain Americans, um, have access to today.
So if you see us as less than human, right? Why would you even, you know, treat us any
Right.
than anything else? It's a mindset, and it's ingrained, and it's taught to the children in the home, you know. Like
Yes.
we always say this, Will Smith says, you know, racism, it just all of this just didn't start. It's just being
Right.
filmed, you know.
It's just being filmed
You
now.
said it earlier.
Exactly.
We
It's
saw
being
the
filmed.
video. The video showed
Video.
the,
Yes.
the cop who had his knee on George Floyd's neck, right?
8 minutes, 46 seconds. This police officer had his knee
Yeah.
on the back of this gentleman's, this Black man's neck.
Killed him.
8 minutes and 46 seconds.
Exactly. And he saw nothing wrong with it, because
Nothing at all.
that's right, because that's what he's been taught. That's what he believes.
And like I said before, enough is enough.
You know, it's so interesting, guys. Like today's Friday, and it's so interesting. Like we're actually doing the show today, Friday, and it is 57 years later. Today is the commemoration of the march, the historic March on Washington, guys. And
Yes.
like you, Mark, Dean, and I, like we were just sitting back, just watching the march. Thousands. When I say that, I don't have a number right now, but
Right.
thousands. Yo, hats off to my people, to those who are standing in solidarity against racial injustice that descended on the National Mall today. It was just so good to see how many people know what's right and what's wrong.
Yes, indeed, Cynthia. Kudos again to the National Action Network.
Yeah.
Under the leadership of Reverend Al Sharpton. They started, it was called The Knees, Get the Knee Off My Back. Get the knee off my neck, pretty much.
Yeah.
The knee off my neck march.
It was organized by Al Sharpton and Martin
Yes, it was.
King III, right? I think
Martin
in
Luther King
collaboration.
III.
Right.
Yes. And like you said, it was a great turnout, but for a much needed and worthy cause to end the police brutality.
Yeah.
To also to shed light on the suppression that the when you look at what is going on as far as with Congress to suppress the vote.
Yep.
To get out those to combat voter suppression right now. You know, we've got the major presidential election that's coming on November 3rd.
Yep.
So with everyone that's hearing us right now and listening to our podcast, vote. Get out to vote. If you haven't registered to vote, vote.
Exactly.
VOTE.
We say it.
If you haven't done it, if you have not done it, please register to vote. Also, if you haven't participated in the census, please participate in the census.
You know, it was so good, and it's just under these circumstances, like we were saying, the March on Washington, just looking at the whole host of speakers. I was able to
Yes.
see the granddaughter of Martin Luther King Jr. guys,
Yes.
Yolanda, I think it's Yolanda Renee King.
Yes.
What an amazing little girl.
Yes.
Walking in the footsteps of her granddaddy, Martin Luther King Jr. Also, the mother of Ahmaud Arbery,
Mhm.
she spoke. Also,
Yes.
the sister of Jacob Blake also spoke. It was interesting. I listened to her after the shooting. First time she spoke, and she was talking about, um, she said, "I'm not sad." She said, "I've been watching they killing us for years."
Oh yeah. Most
She said
definitely.
it's
Most definitely.
important, and we go back to this, it's important with all of these murders and killings that you associate human, that you associate the victim was a father, possibly an uncle, a niece, a nephew, a daughter, which humanizes that person.
Yeah.
I
A
mean,
brother.
yeah, or a brother,
Yeah.
or a sister.
Yes. Yes, indeed. I definitely, you couldn't help but to shed tears
Right,
when you heard from,
exactly.
you know, the speakers that participated in the march. I was listening to the brother of George Floyd,
Wow.
um, and his speech, and he got full. I mean, he couldn't. He had, he had to take his time going through it, but to hear the families of the victims,
Yes, yes.
Breonna Taylor,
Breonna Taylor,
Ahmaud Arbery, like I said,
Eric
George
Garner.
Floyd,
Yep, 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 yep.
Eric Gardner,
Yeah,
to hear it come from the families, it really brings it home that these were people.
yeah, yeah,
These were men, women, law abiding,
yep.
you know. Now, not everybody's perfect, and I get that. You know, who is perfect
Right.
in this world?
Who doesn't have some skeletons is
Who,
what you're
yes,
saying. Right, right.
only
We
God is
all,
perfect,
yeah,
but at the end of the day, we are all citizens and we are entitled to certain rights.
yeah, yeah,
And the very ones that are supposed to uphold, protect, and serve are the ones that are initiating, you know, carnage,
yeah, yeah.
you know, and this must end,
But it's
you
not.
know.
But it's not. It's not ending. It's going and going. I mean, you got to think about the
Right.
17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, the
Yes.
17-year-old walking
Yeah, the
broad
17-year-old.
daylight with an AR-15. He kills two people. He injures one. When they took a look, he's been charged, of course, now.
Yes.
But
He's been charged.
but they took a look back in his history.
Oh yeah.
He's a Trump supporter.
Yes.
Yeah, he's an
Yes.
NRA boy.
Yeah.
He has
On his
been
social
bred.
media, Blue Lives Matter. But
Exactly.
is
He
it
has been
really
trained, but this
right?
is the next generation of
Yes.
racists coming up. You
Yes.
see it in broad daylight.
Um, and we talked about this before, Cynthia, but the militias,
Yeah,
the white militias, they have indeed infiltrated the police
you see it all day, every day. You've seen it
in
left
the
and right.
blue. So when you say Blue Lives Matter, now look, I know not all police is just white. I know that. And I'm not trying to peg, um, okay, all white people are part of a militia,
No,
but
no, that's not
let
what
the
we're
record
saying.
show, let
Right.
the record show, let the record show, and it has been documented that the Aryan Nation, Ku Klux Klan, when their actual militias was being, okay, ripped apart by, say, the FBI, and a lot of people, they were going to jail. What they did, they said, well, look, why, instead of trying to start our own militias, let's just infiltrate the police academies across the nation.
Right.
They can train us, and we now have the shield, the police shield, the badge,
The
all of that
protection.
documented. We have the protection.
Exactly.
So, we have to understand and stay woke. But I'm saying staying woke, we must do diligence and learn our rights, learn the law,
Yep.
know our rights, and then pass it on. But when you spread it out in learning the system and understanding what it takes, by first making sure you register to vote, voting on the local level. Now, we have this presidential election that's coming up.
That's right.
But
November 3rd.
We just can't vote in that election, and just all the other elections, we just sit idly, just sit by.
Well, you know what? The one thing we
do. You have to vote on the local level, state level, as well as the federal level.
We want to focus, though. We really want to focus people in on this election right now. And
right.
and that's one, it's like one step at a time, because you would not believe how many people are actually who have never voted, first of all, who are afraid to vote, right? Who have tried to vote and were intimidated at the polls. And, of course, I know this because of all the years that I've, maybe worked polls, or I've written stories about elections, or I've interviewed different people throughout the years. So, it's incumbent for us, let's focus on right now,
some people I agree.
Some people are saying, I'll wait to the next, and you have got, God, you have people who have said, you know what, I'm just going to sit out this one. It's the pandemic. Let me just chill out, and I'll wait for the next one. No, we cannot afford for you, for me, for anyone to sit out just because it's the pandemic. So now more than ever, we need the focus. The focus needs to be on getting Trump out of here.
In this time, in this country, this is the most critical and crucial election, especially on a national level, presidential level.
Exactly.
We have to come out and vote.
Exactly.
We have to exercise the right. My father was a magistrate, and he was over the voting polls where I grew up. And each election, I remember, he instilled it in me.
Wow.
As a child. I used to go to when they had to vote. I used to go with him to the polls, and I actually participated in election as a poll worker, and understanding those things, and remembering the people that fought and died for that right to vote, and how by design, they say, well, look, this election, it's just a local election. You shouldn't worry about it. You shouldn't worry about this. Every election matters.
It does. Well, I want to say, we're talking about voting, exercising your power. When you vote, you do have power. It's an unbelievable. I mean, think about it. If voting did not, equivalent to power, no one will be trying to stand in your way. Nobody will be trying to stop the post office, revamp the, nobody would be trying to throw out your absentee votes, Right. Voting is your power. And I just want to give, like I said, hats off, kudos. I mean, a big hand clap, a bow to, we were talking about him earlier, LeBron James, right? Yeah. I know LeBron, he has teamed up with state, county, national officials, election officials, to actually put together a multi-million-dollar push, right? Just to
Mm-hmm.
stomp out a voter suppression. And
Yes.
they will be drafting, guys. Listen to this. And I literally was like, just jumped out of my seat when I saw the story. I mean, they're going to be drafting young poll workers to help with the
Yes.
November 3rd election. So young people, African American, of course, is the target. But everyone is welcome because there is a shortage of poll workers. A lot of people may
Mm-hmm.
not know.
Right. And that's the big thing. I mean, information, having access to information, having access to the knowledge. So definitely kudos to LeBron James for spearheading and actually giving the juice to
Yeah,
put gas in the tank to fuel that initiative, because it's a very important initiative, and it's something that not everybody, especially those that are disadvantaged,
yeah,
the communities, people of color, my people, we need to understand that there is power in the vote,
yeah,
and understanding that we have to shed light. We have to put light on the darkness.
yeah,
And what
and
better way
yeah.
to cure it is by shedding light on it.
Yeah, but it also speaks to, that's why it goes back to what we said earlier. These women, these men, these
Yeah.
athletes, they make millions. They make
Yes, they
millions
do.
of dollars. Now they make millions of dollars, but the owners and those above them make billions. You know,
Right.
and it's so refreshing for me. I mean, for us on Studiosetstage, just to see these
Yeah.
athletes understand their worth, not just the worth of, oh, I can dunk a ball and I got the best sneaker out there or whatever, but to know their true worth in the world, in their existence, in life, their purpose.
Yes.
That
And
that
when you
that right
realize that,
there just makes me just
speak
scream,
volumes.
because
Yeah.
gone are the days where, okay, you get a contract for $100 million. That's wonderful, but how are you reaching back? How are you bringing the next generation? How do you want, when you're dead and gone, because you will be, how are you setting up the next generation?
Right. Um, in scripture, and I've said this before, you're supposed to leave a legacy for your children's children.
Yeah.
And when you talk about legacy, it's not just, okay, leaving, okay, I left you some money in the bank. Financially, you don't have
Which
to
is
want,
cool,
but
which is great. It's
which is
awesome.
great.
It
Don't
works.
get me wrong. I'm
It
not saying
works.
it's
Right.
but what I'm saying is, that's not just, you don't just place that as the legacy. What did you stand for?
Exactly.
Um, did you um, stand up when you saw something wrong? Um,
Amen.
did you participate in righting the wrongs that you see?
That's what I
In
see with LeBron.
injustice,
That's what I see with
all of that.
LeBron. And I know, it takes courage. We didn't mention Colin Kaepernick, but you know
Oh
what?
yeah,
He deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Yes, I said it.
okay,
Cynthia Mallard,
okay,
here at Studiosetstage,
all
he
right.
deserves a Nobel Peace Prize.
So
And
you putting it out there, okay,
I'm
okay.
putting it out there.
Let's put it out there. Right.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who has said this, but I do know that this week, I think 4 years ago, was when he first took the knee
Yeah,
and
he did.
started a revolution. He
Yeah.
started a revolution that he should be given credit for solely on his back as an athlete at the peak of his career. Multi-million-dollar endorsements, multi-million-dollar checks, and he sacrificed everything. Who do that?
Well, it's not many. You can count them on a
Not
hand.
many. And so
Um,
brings us to today, 2020. You as a Black man, me as a Black woman, there are so many of these women and men who are being drafted. It is your responsibility to step up. Yeah, I know it's hard.
Yes.
You know.
Well, and I would say this,
Yeah.
Cynthia, it takes, and again, like I said, it's chess, it's not checkers. It takes everyone to get involved and to get involved in their way to understand, okay, well, not everybody's going to play ball. Not everybody's going to be in the NBA. Not everybody's going to be in the NFL.
Exactly.
However, if you are in a position where you are a star in these professional
and you have
athletic
access
organizations, and
to
you have
resources,
access
right?
to
Exactly.
resources,
Yeah.
I know, like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day.
No, not at
My
all.
grandma always said that. However, start somewhere.
Start where you
Do
are.
what's do. If
Exactly.
you are able, even in your community, even in your area, your voice matters. Your voice matters. And in that, we have to be strategic. We have to be strategic. We have to get united as a people. Unity is critical now. We cannot, and I know we all have certain issues that we're dealing with internally, and that's important. Those issues are important.
Yeah.
But we cannot get caught up where we're dealing with, okay, this little snag when we're missing the total composition of what's going on. And like you said, we have to come together. We have to come together and be strategic on how we come together and how we affect and how we make the initial steps to force, an end to the systemic racism. Because all of these things that's been happening to us, it's been strategically done.
Exactly.
So why do you think we can?
Why you can go by the seat of your pants, fly by the seat of your pants?
We out here like kids with our heads cut off.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
And and everybody, we're, I think a lot of people are learning. A lot of people are learning, like, and that's why we say this is our, if you have a platform like this, it's cool to use your platform to look cute, what I'm saying? A picture of your coffee and things like that. That's pretty cool, because I do the same thing. I'm definitely about that social media. I love to show just my daily happenings or whatever. But after a certain point, you learn, okay, I need to use this also to uplift people. So I just want to say again, we thank you, LeBron James, along with our local officials who will be drafting like those young activists, Black, white, all races, to kind of help stomp out voter suppression at the November 3rd general election. Okay, so guys, I do want to let you know. I forgot to say this. Look for the drafting in like the battleground states, southern states like Alabama, of course. We worked in Alabama for a long time, so we know about that. South Carolina, Texas, Georgia, of course, Michigan, Wisconsin, where all of the injustice, the protests are just raging right at this moment. Exactly. North Carolina, also Louisiana, and Mississippi. Look out for that. Look out for that.
Yes.
For that news.
Yes, indeed. Not to digress, Cindy, but I also want to send a shout out to a fellow studio set stager, Ice Cube. Ice Cube, a couple of weeks. Well, this has been going on a couple of weeks, but he's been getting some exposure here and there. But I want to give a shout out to Ice Cube because he drafted a document known as Contract with Black America.
Wow.
And stating several issues that are paramount to the progress of African Americans in this country, and basically mandating to those politicians, to those that are seeking our support. Well, hey, you need to um, check this out.
Yeah.
These are the needs. These are, um, what we need as far as with us as a people in our communities. Are you answering the call?
Mm.
Will you answer the call?
Yeah.
Or will will it be reciprocated? If we support you, are you going to um, initiate these initiatives for us?
Right. Right.
So,
Well, you
kudos to Ice Cube on that.
Ice Cube, you doing big things always. We forgot we didn't say this, but I'm wondering if the NFL is going to follow suit. So you see how a lot of the players, like I said, have boycotted a lot of the teams, and I haven't heard anything about the NFL. I'm just wondering. I haven't heard anything about the NFL players. I mean, have you? I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, definitely.
I'm not going to hold my breath, Cynthia.
Yeah, we're not gonna hold our breath on
I'm
that.
not going to. Well, I will say this.
Yeah.
I think they did release a statement.
Yeah, of
I didn't
course.
have a chance to really take a look at it,
That's
but
the PR thing to do. That's the
yeah,
PR thing to do.
I think the vice president of I think released a statement. I didn't really go through it, but like I said, I'm not going to hold my breath. But all you can do, like you say, the road to hell was paved with good intentions.
Yeah, it
So
is.
I will say this: if they are on the right side, it will it will be it will be revealed. It would
Exactly.
definitely be revealed.
Well, listen, guys.
Um,
Just wanted to let you guys know that, like I said, we are here, Studiosetstage, myself,
yes,
Cynthia Mallard, um,
Ardeen,
along
yes,
with Marq Dean. Like I said, yeah. I mean, we hear people say it all the time. Oh, I'm
yes,
not really into politics. I'm not really into this. We have come to a crossroads where you have to make a decision. You have to decide, what side are you on?
yes.
Realistically, are what side? You have to choose a side. There is no in between. I think about myself, and one reason I think that I had, I kind of got out of news. I kind of started realizing, yeah, I was reporting, right, like what
Hmm.
was going on, and it was wonderful. It was great. I could actually get there and spin the story the way I needed to spin it, or the way I saw it, or whatever. But I started thinking, you know, you've got to have an opinion about something, and you've got to act upon it. No matter where you are, you can have $1 in your bank account, you can have $1 trillion, right? You can be
Right.
somewhere in between. Um, but you have to make a decision, guys.
Yes.
That's just the message today. Make a decision, because
Yeah.
we're at
Make a
that
decision.
point. We're there. We're there.
Hmm.
There's no more waiting.
Right. You have to get involved. You have to get involved, and you know, do what's doable, but get involved.
Yeah,
The worst thing you can do is have a voice and be silent.
exactly.
And we've all been blessed with talents and gifts,
Yeah,
um, and we need to use them for good.
yeah,
Like the late Congressman John Lewis said, get in good trouble.
yeah,
And when you see something that's wrong, speak out. And right now, more than ever,
yeah,
we need to um, demand justice.
yeah,
We need to shed light on the dark places in this country, um, all of the systematic racism that's going on. Enough is enough. We need to
yeah,
end it,
yeah.
and we need to be vigilant in doing that.
Well, listen, guys, like I said, we come to you every week. We're so happy that you joined us.
Yes.
Like I said, we will continue. We'll be here for you. Be sure, guys, to reach us. You can email us at studiosetstage@gmail.com. Marq Dean, like I said, we're on all social platforms. Like, if they want to get at you, Marq Dean, like, how do we reach you?
Yeah, you can reach out to me at Marq Dean Music. That's at Marq Dean Music on IG, FB, Marq Dean on Twitter. And also, guys, for my people is available now on all social digital platforms as well.
Very cool, very cool. And of course, you can always reach me on all social at Cynthia Mallard. Drop us a line. Doesn't matter what platform. We'll get back to you, okay? We love you guys, and thank you for checking in on us. What's your name?
My name is Marq.
And I'm Cynthia Mallard. This is Studiosetstage. We'll see you next week.